So, hi, I have decided to go live, even though I'm setting this to private, so no one's actually going to see this in real time. But it was the fastest way that I could think of to answer one of my friend's questions about what my thoughts were on the 5th episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones was. And considering that Jane, you don't want to, we don't want to ruin, we need that for later. But yeah, considering that the next episode is in like less than 2 hours, I figured I would just hop on here. It would be faster than typing my thoughts. And for those of you who care not for Game of Thrones, you do not need to watch this video. For those of you who do not care about my opinions, you also do not need to watch. So,
forget about the people who haven't watched episode 5 yet.
Yes, also, yeah, the title has the word spoilers in it. So if you're not caught up through season 8, episode 5, then don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled. So basically, there was a big twist in episode 5. It wasn't totally random. So with Daenerys's whole roasting of King's Landing thing, it was kind of like something that, in retrospect anyway, we could see coming. It wasn't totally unexpected, but it has been very divisive for the fandom of Game of Thrones. What did you just find on the table to start eating? Yeah, I don't think that was food. So after thinking about it, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great choice. It feels like something that George R. R. Martin would have been doing as well. Should I be talking on the phone? Hello, who's there?
This is literally the opposite of everything you said last week.
No, it's not. I don't think that it's a good thing that she destroyed King's Landing. What I think, don't hit that button, please. What I think is that it's a good thing for the story. I think that it goes to show that someone who is seemingly really virtuous, and I do think that Dany is not evil. She has been a virtuous person. Her entire character arc has been defined by her doing the right thing or trying to. And sometimes her punishment was like harsh when she crucified the masters. But we also have to remember she did that in the name of righteousness because they had murdered children and stuff like that. So it's not like she was just like, ha ha ha, let's kill some people. It had a purpose, and it had like a righteous purpose, which doesn't make it right. And if we look at our moral good character, Jon Snow, he wouldn't have done that. So you can, like, even early on see the differences in their character. He's a much gentler person, not into the capital punishment in such a severe way as Daenerys. But the thing about Daenerys, and this is what I've explained in my opinion, she's like a plane crash. It's very unlikely that a plane will ever crash, but when it does, it's not because one thing goes wrong. It's because a whole bunch of things go wrong in sequence at the same time. So Jorah dying was bad. Missandei dying was bad. Her dragons dying was bad. Jon rejecting her was bad. The North rejecting her was bad. Not getting any credit for helping save the world was bad. It was just like a whole bunch of things that ended up making the perfect storm. Her advisors turning against her was bad. Not being able to trust anyone that she cared, like basically losing everyone who had ever liked her, cared about her, or trusted her. Having all of those people gone, except for Grey Worm, created like a little perfect storm of terribleness for Daenerys. And I think it was really, really cool because she hasn't been an evil person. She's not like a Cersei. Cersei's like, I'm gonna blow them up and I'm gonna swish my wine and smile about it. But Daenerys is like not into destroying people. So the fact that a good person can go so wrong is what makes the story great. It's something that we can all kind of learn from, because it's not just the evil characters who do evil things. Good characters can do evil things too. And I find that just like an absolutely fascinating subject to explore, especially because so many of us have been rooting for Daenerys since the beginning. Is that right, Jane? So that's, oh, your nose is really, really goopy. So those are my thoughts on Daenerys's storyline. I think it was great. I think it was absolutely like the right choice to subvert our expectations and stuff like that. Now, sorry, my child is just trying to like fall right now. Hey, Michael, you mind helping me out here, yo? considering I'm live, I can't really edit any of this. So yeah, no, Jane's just like sitting on pillows in the corner. So I actually need my phone, child, because I need it because I have important notes on there. I've been having conversations with people and saving little snippets from Reddit of things that either I wanted to talk about or things that I agree with. Now, one thing I want to talk about is John. So we consider John to be this like ultimate pinnacle of virtuosity. No, not virtuosity. That means he's really good at things. Virtuousness. He is a moral white character. He does the right thing. He's like a hero, all of that stuff. So John is like our good guy. We thought Daenerys was our good guy, but she's actually a villain. So John is like our good guy. But I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's like, oh, John is just like so awesome and he can do no wrong. What I think is that he has a pattern of indecisiveness and lack of ownership of his power has caused a whole bunch of problems. Now, I'm not going to blame John for the fact that Daenerys roasted King's Landing. However, he could have done quite a few things to change that had he decided that not going the virtuous route was the best course of action. So you remember in season 7 when John decided to tell Cersei, like, yo, Cersei, you're not my queen. This woman, she my queen. Hi. This makes concentrating real difficult. But you remember that, and then everyone was like, John, you're so stupid. Why couldn't you just like lied for the sake of, diplomacy or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm too good for that lying stuff. He could have done the same thing with Daenerys here. He could have like observed the situation where she was like on the brink of it, like kind of like borderline, like, oh, but you still love me? Will you love me? She's kind of just like throwing herself at him. And he was just like, no, I cannot. Oh, no. So if he would have just been like, I don't know, comforting, giving her a little bit of hope or something, then none of this would have happened. So, and again, it's not John's fault. Daenerys made her big girl decisions all by herself. But he could have intervened. He was like the one person left who could have done something about it because Daenerys had no one else that she cared about, really. So, and Grey Worm obviously wasn't going to stop this train wreck from going down. So, so that's how I feel about John. I feel like he could have done more. And it's also like, if he would have stepped up into power, like, okay, I get it. He doesn't want to be king, whatever. He doesn't want to do that. Sometimes it's not about what you want, John. Sometimes you just have to like save thousands of people. If he would have, championed himself or something. I don't know. I feel like he could have done something instead of being like, nope, don't want the power, don't want the responsibility. So John is like a super virtuous character, but he's also very bad at taking action. He just kind of gets forced into situations, and that lack of taking actions causes some problems. Could have saved the world there a little bit. Okay, another thing I have to say. I was of the camp with Jaime's character that he was going to like realize that Cersei was super crazy and then like end up choking her with his golden hand or something. I was like, poetic justice. Yeah, something like that. And then that didn't happen. Pretty much the opposite of that happened. He went back to King's Landing to help Cersei, and they died together in what was probably like the most romantic death of all of Game of Thrones. And why does Cersei get like the love romance relationship death? I don't know. It's unfair. She should have like died in a much more gruesome way. But I digress. Jaime, I misunderstood. Okay, after doing some reflection, it would have been absolutely insane for Jaime to go back to King's Landing and kill Cersei. And here's why it would be like abominable. It would not be abominable. Abominable. Am I making up words? There's a word that's something like that, and I just don't think I'm saying it right. But if Jaime would have like went back to kill the love of his life and the carrier of his child, like if Jaime would have gone and like murdered a pregnant woman, it just would have been like completely crazy. Like that would not have made sense. That is not the fulfillment of a character arc. It's disappointing that he never overcame his toxic relationship with Cersei. But I actually appreciated that about it because it's depressing to say, but it's kind of like true to life. It's like our biggest vices in life, and in this case, Cersei was Jaime's biggest vice, are very, very difficult to overcome. And in most cases, we don't overcome them. So I felt like that was like the most true thing. That was like the most human thing that Jaime could have done was like go back for Cersei. And it absolutely would not have made any sense for him to kill Cersei. And I stand by that. I'm just looking through my notes, guys. So I kind of want to read a little bit of what I saved. So, oh, my hair is doing like a, like, what is this? What is this, you guys? What is this? Okay. Season 8 has been super thematically dark, mainly with respect to Daenerys and Jaime, and I agree. I think a lot of people need to realize that they're being brutally honest about conquest and imperialism on Daenerys' side and toxic relationships on Jaime's side, which was like pretty much what I was driving at there. Okay, so apparently the formatting, what I copied and pasted, was bad. Do you hear that? I don't know what's going on with my child. I'll go quick though, because I'm already like at the 10-minute mark. So more thoughts. I don't even know what this says, but I'm gonna kind of read it. Oh, this is talking about Daenerys' arc. Basically just saying, yeah. Doop. So the Mad Queen descent was rushed, but I've seen a lot of people all over the internet make fun of the bells and at Daenerys' mind breaking at the point of surrender. But it made sense, and it was set up earlier in the episode. So seasons 1 through 7 showed Daenerys rising from the very lowest to lowest to the height of power, et cetera. Like she's gaining all her power, and we're cheering for her. And when Daenerys leaves Essos, she thinks she can rule through compassion and be loved by people once she gets rid of Cersei. She has armies, dragons, she has powerful allies in Westeros, she has the strongest claim to the throne. Finally had a chance to take King's Landing. Seasons 7 and 8 was about all of that power getting lost. So she loses her powerful allies like Olenna, Illyria, Yara. She still has Yara as an ally, I think. Tyrion mismanages her allies and makes horrible tactical mistakes. And then at the beginning of season 8, she realizes she doesn't have the love of the people, which is probably like the most crushing realization. In the East, she was breaking chains and she was like the mother of the people, essentially freeing slaves and stuff. But in the North, Jon and Sansa had already broken those chains. They defeated Ramsay. Sansa and Jon were Starks, and they've, as such, earned enough loyalty for a lifetime. But Daenerys is faced with her subjects that don't love her, and it's just a really harsh realization for her. And then in episode 2, she loses her claim when she finds out that Jon is actually like the more rightful ruler of the 7 kingdoms. And then in episode 3, she loses Jorah. And Jorah was the one person who saw absolute good in her. And because he observed that good in her, I think it made her a better person. If Jorah was still alive, she would not have roasted King's Landing, because in Jorah's eyes, she was not that kind of person. But with Jorah gone, it like gave her the freedom to become that kind of person, if that makes any sense. And then in episode 4, she lost her dragon child and also Missandei. So basically everyone who was devoted to her is gone. And with only one dragon left, has much less power, and she's starting to get in like a desperate position. Grey Worm's basically her only advisor. And then in episode 5, she's not done losing things. She loses Varys, Tyrion, and Jon because they betray her. All of them betray her. Jon tells Sansa about his, I don't know, parentage. Sansa tells Tyrion. Tyrion tells Varys, and then Varys is the one who ends up being like the victim of all those lies. She kills him without a trial. And then that's when she's kind of at the brink. And then when she's having that confrontation with Jon, far more people in Westeros love you than love me. I don't have love here. I only have fear. He counters by saying he loves her, but then he's like, but I don't love you like that. And then she's like, okay, let it be fear. And at that point, I think she's made her decision. When the bells ring, Daenerys realizes that while the city is surrendered, she'll never be secure as queen as long as the people don't truly irrevocably fear her. She'll never be loved by them. She knows that. She's lost everything and every friend she's ever made, and she's completely alone. So she feels powerless and angry. And basically, it was her only option, because if she would have surrendered, John would have taken the throne, essentially. Like, people would rally to John. So she would have had the throne for like a few weeks, and then she would have been overthrown by someone with a better claim. Having people really truly fear her was the only way to secure her position as monarch, even if people started supporting John. So it wasn't a great decision that she made, but it also wasn't a crazy decision. It was an evil decision, but it wasn't crazy. So I don't love all this Mad Queen stuff. Her dad, the Mad King, was crazy. He roasted people for fun. He thought it was awesome. He's like, make them dance. I don't know what his voice sounded. He was never in the show, I don't think. He was in the books. But Daenerys is not like that. Daenerys' decision, really? Daenerys' decision to do this is going to destroy her, because she's a person who cares about people, who just killed a whole bunch of people for the greater good or whatever. And since she's not an evil person, that decision is going to just rob her of all her humanity. So I'm going to make some audacious predictions, because the episode's going to be up right away, and I want you to all laugh at my stupid predictions that aren't going to happen. And there are even leaks, and I haven't read them, so some of you will already kind of know what happens. However, I think Daenerys is going to die. I kind of hope it's suicide, not because I think that's a good thing. I just think that it would be fitting for her. I don't know. At the very least, exiled. I don't know what's going to happen with Drogon, because who can kill a dragon? I don't know. Maybe they'll get exiled to Valyria or something. Euron is dead.
I know.
Do you have any other predictions for how this is going down?
Arya kills someone.
Arya kills someone. Arya has ended up being kind of like a secret hero of the show. And obviously from that episode, you can tell Daenerys is on Arya's list now, and there's going to be some murderousness going on there. I don't know. I think Tyrion might die. I think Tyrion's going to go. I hope not, though, because he's my man. I like Tyrion. I have a whiny child, so I think I'm going to have to wrap this up. But I actually think that I don't have any actual predictions. I don't know what's going to happen. So I have no clue. You're going to steal my phone. I thought Clegane Bowl was awesome. They couldn't have done a better job of that. That was perfect. Clegane went out in style. And I love that Arya called him Sandor at the very end. Arya's experience on the ground, just as a civilian, was perfect. And I love that someone who is trained to not experience fear was still experiencing fear. Because even if you're a faceless person, having an atomic bomb dropped on a city, which is essentially what this was a parallel of, is horrifying. So having her on the ground was a really good decision, I think, to kind of take us through the experience. And then there's obviously the religious symbolism of the white horse at the end, which I hope will make sense in today. Maybe that's alluding to something that happens in today's episode. I want there to be some conclusion with Bran. What was the point of Bran? I don't know if there's anything. I kind of want there to be something there, though. That would be good. I don't really know. At this point, whatever que sera, sera. Well, whatever will be, will be. And maybe I'll go live and chat with you about that in the future. Jane's playing with my phone, so any other notes are long gone. I do hope we see Samwell Tarly again, even just as a nugget, because I think Sam is the one who writes the story, A Song of Ice and Fire. And that might be something that's in the book, not the show, but I kind of want them to nod to that a little bit. I don't know. Any predictions for tonight, Michael, before I wrap this up?
It will be an ending.
It will
That's
be.
what I said the whole time.
It will be an ending. I don't expect to be satisfied by it. I expect to be angry about it, because how could they possibly satisfyingly wrap up a show that I've been very passionate about for the last 10 years. I don't think anyone's going to be happy. Maybe a few people. I don't know. And that's pretty much what the actors have been saying and stuff. So, yeah. I don't really know how to... Oh, there's the button to end the live stream. So, yeah. We're gonna make some pancakes. We're going to have some supper. We're going to have pancakes for supper. It's going to be delicious. We're going to watch some Game of Thrones. And then maybe I'll hop on here tomorrow and we can chat about the ending. That's going to be terrible because it just means it's over. So Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.